Where are you right now, Mike?
I am sitting at the Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix. It is beautiful. It is hot, and I'm waiting to get on my plane.
All right, great week for you. Great guest that you had. But I wanted to talk about this targeting rule that I'm in favor of, but I know it's going to be probably some rough territory here to navigate before it becomes better. So explain the rule. Tell me how you think this is going to play out in the NFL.
Well, it's a new point of emphasis, not an actual rule, and it's for certain egregious hits to the head, there will be an expectation that the officials eject the player who applies that hit. And the problem I have, Dan, is we have heard time after time since 2010 when the league decided to take very serious steps to avoid illegal hits to the head and neck area of defenseless receivers that officials do not like to eject players. They don't like to do anything that could potentially affect the outcome of a game. Look at the Josh Norman, Odell Beckham embarrassment from 2015 in December when both of those guys should have been run to the showers, and the officials didn't do it because they don't want to be responsible for affecting the outcome. So that's where I think they're going to have an issue here, getting the officials to comply with this. I think it's better to just defer it all until after the game, let the league office take it up, determine suspensions, determine fines. It puts a lot of pressure on the officials, and I don't know how often there is an egregious hit where we say, oh, wow, that guy should be suspended right now. But I think it's going to be a challenge to get the officials properly sensitive to what it takes to eject a guy when they are inclined naturally not to eject anyone.
Okay, but let's say you had a hit during the game and you weren't flagged for it, but then upon further review, is the NFL going to be able to review something? Let's say the team goes, hey, that was a hit, that was a helmet to helmet, and he went after our receiver. We want you to look at it. Can you make that request, and will the league then, can they rule after the fact and then eject somebody for the next game?
Well, here's what I'm trying to figure out. There isn't a whole lot of clarity that's been provided. There wasn't even a proposed rule change that was disseminated to the media in advance of this. And if it is just a point of emphasis, that means there's no change to the rule book. That means that replay review isn't available for something like this. So it's going to be an official's call. And after the game, you can have a complaint made by a team saying, hey, look, this guy tried to take my receiver's head off. You need to look at this and impose discipline. That happens all the time. So I think the NFL could take it up after the fact and probably will take it up after the fact, whether the guy is ejected or not, the possibility of further discipline. The question of ejection, though, Dan, I think is going to rest in the hands of the officials. And look, they've got that pipeline to the league office in their ear anyway. And there's a lot of suspicion that thing gets used to correct all sorts of mistakes. And I don't know if Dean Blandino is going to yell into Ed Hockley's ear, you better eject that guy. But it on the surface is something that's going to be deferred to the discretion of the officials, and I'm just not comfortable with that because I know the officials don't want to eject players.
They have to have review. They have to be able to review this, and you have to have the home office doing this. That's what college football does. You can't put this on a referee. They won't throw out anybody. At least if Dean Blandino and his crew is in the central tower there, they can do it, and they can look at replay there. I don't agree with that at all.
Hey, Dan, and here's what may be happening. They may be trying it this way because they know they can't get the 24 votes to do what you're suggesting. So you try it this way. You have a year or two where it doesn't work, and then you say to the owners, we've tried it the other way. It doesn't work. We have to take this to the league office.
The overtime rule doesn't change?
No change yet. There were at least 9 teams opposed to it. It's been tabled at least until May. I think they're going to try to convince one of the teams against it to flip back the other way. So it's still 15 minutes. They want to move it to 10 minutes. My concern is, with the opportunity to match a field goal that the team who gets the opening kickoff for overtime scores, you're going to have ties. You're going to have 5 minutes for the first 3, 5 minutes for the second 3, and you're going to have a tie game, and you're going to have more ties. And I don't think anybody wants more ties. I know the fans don't want more ties. So I don't like it, and I hope that they don't do it.
The Vegas move, have we seen the PR hit on this, or is there going to be a PR hit on this Vegas move eventually?
I don't think there is a PR hit. I think here's where the PR hit comes. When there's a playoff game in Las Vegas with a Des Bryant type of a controversy, and you're going to give the tinfoil hat crowd more ammunition to suggest that something's rigged, that something's fixed. That's where they're going to have the PR issue. And I don't know that they care. $950 million in free money goes a long way toward allowing the league to tolerate that vague possibility of someone suggesting corruption at some point down the road. And I think, look, we've all known the connection between gambling and football for years. The NFL acts like it's not there. This is the first tangible step in the league, acknowledging that it's there. And I was talking to somebody today, Dan, and keep an eye on this possibility. And it's not anything that's going to happen anytime soon. But don't be surprised if at some point down the road, and this would require legalization of the expansion of sports betting to multiple states, and the states would have to embrace it. But with Premier League Soccer, you can go to the website of the team and you can place a bet. And long term, don't be surprised if you can go to chicagobears.com and click a button and bet on the Bears or bet against the Bears or bet on whatever you want to bet on. And again, it's going to take a long time to get to that point. But this putting a team in Las Vegas is the first tangible step down that path.
I saw we're talking to Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. The commissioner is planning on going to New England. Do you have a better sense of who New England is going to play on that opening night?
No, I don't. I mean, we put the list of the possibilities together right out of the gates, and I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. We'll know in a couple of weeks. I think they're going to look for a compelling game.
But I thought it would be Romo. If Romo goes to the Texans, to me, that's how you open it up. I don't think you put the Falcons against the Patriots. It feels like it's piling up.
We're not going to know about Romo before they announce the schedule. The schedule is going to come in a couple of weeks, and this Romo thing's on hold. So I don't know what they're going to do. Last year they gave us a Super Bowl rematch, and I know that the Panthers were not happy with that because it continued to hover over them for 7 more months. Their 2015 season, they wanted to turn the page on it. How can you turn the page on it when you're playing the Broncos in their building right out of the gate? So, they're going to give us a good game, and maybe they don't have to give us a good game now. Maybe the entertainment is the commissioner showing up in Foxborough again.
Is he going to have like the Pope Mobile and just ride around the football field and wave?
And Dan, I'm a mild cynic. I still think he's not going to be there. I think something's going to happen, and he's not. Something's going to come up. There's going to be some unexpected, pre-planned complication that's going to keep him from being there.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take right there. The Mike Florio bonfire.
I got hot. I've learned if you're in a place that's hot, you're more conducive to coming up with hot takes.
Oh, but it's a dry heat. Thank you, Mike. Safe travels.
All right, see you, buddy.
Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.